Hey, this is Anthony Truter from Truter Adventures, and as usual, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos just like this one, or see more videos about the Airstream and the making of, and so forth. Yeah, it's going to be fun and exciting. I'm so excited to start this video, and so excited to tell you guys how I have built this house from what we believe to be scratch at least. And to have more instructional videos. I didn't do many videos while I was building, so this is the best I can do is use pictures from the past and go into more detail of how everything was done. Yeah, that's exciting, guys. Yeah, so why did we buy our Airstream specifically? Well, I saw on Craigslist there was an Airstream, and it was an Airstream Argosy. I've never heard of it before, but I love the look of the white over the shiny, and both of them are amazing. But this one just caught my eye. It was very well done. The outside looked beautiful as far as I could see. So we went to go look at it, and we scanned through the inside pretty quickly, and we said we wanted. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. And yeah, so about a week later, he delivered it to our house, and we started the process of this whole thing. And initially, we really thought that we would just gut out the interior and just put our own interior in. We liked the layout. Specifically, he brought the bathroom from the back end, as you'll see in the pictures coming up, to the side, which made a massive difference for us. And we didn't really see many Airstreams of this era that were doing that type of thing. Honestly, there isn't too many out there at all that have this specific configuration. So we fell in love with that, and we're so happy that a lot of the stuff was done. The main reasons we took this Airstream was the guy had replaced the axles of the trailer, so it was brand new axles, brand new tires. He lifted it as well, so it could go into more off-road rugged areas for those who love to go off-road and to boondock. Another great aspect of the build was the fact that he already had batteries. He had a solar system, or at least the bones of the solar system done. He had deep cell batteries, Trojan batteries, as well as an inverter that was a 1200 watt inverter, and it did the job as we needed at that time, and it just was such a good selling point. I don't know about you, but solar is a selling point for me, and that was honestly the biggest selling points for us. And I jumped on it sometimes maybe too quickly, so when he dropped it off, he left, and I tried to contact him after that, and he never contacted me back. So I knew something was wrong, and that's where we get to the second point. Why did we gut the trailer to the bones instead of just keeping the walls that we thought we would have done and starting to build from there? Well, the main reason at that time was we looked at the walls more closely, and we realized that every single panel had a bunch of holes in it. It's like, I don't know what happened. Maybe he just screwed into every single possible surface that he could have imagined we have found, but it looked ugly. It was very difficult to remove the old vinyl or old carpet from the wall. It was difficult. I tried to have adhesive remover and chemical remover that was just terrible to work with, and after some consideration and looking at our budget, we realized it was time to remove the walls and to replace them entirely. We weren't even planning on covering the insulation or taking out the insulation either, but opening up the walls, we realized 42-year-old insulation just isn't a good idea. It was pretty clean in general, but knowing that we could get higher rated insulation for the Airstream, knowing that we travel in hot and cold climates, we just thought we would start and just rip out the old stuff and we decided on rock wool. The reason we decided on rock wool insulation specifically is it was very rigid. It was easy to bend, but it was rigid enough to stick into the corners. And we just got 3-inch insulation, and Mary and I spent the time to get a bread knife, and we cut the insulation into half, so it will be 1.5 inches. For those of you who don't know, the walls thickness is 1.5 inches, and that worked perfectly. It stuffed into the edges and the corners super nice, just like I'll show you in the pictures coming up. Just a scroll through of how it looked and the insulation we decided to put in. We came into some issues. One was that when gravity fed from the top, when we tried to put in the insulation, as you will see in pictures, it continually wanted to fall out. So we used duct tape to keep it in. But then I recently saw a video from a friend, and what they did is they used, I think it was just spray adhesive. They sprayed the inside of the aluminum, and then they just stuck down the piece of insulation, and bam, it did the job perfectly, and it kept their stuff up. So I wish I had known that at that time, and that's a tip for you guys to know that is probably the best way to keep your insulation up if you're doing a bad insulation and not spray foam. The reason we didn't go with spray foam was predominantly when the Airstream moves around, especially it being aluminum bracing, it will probably crack. Some people have disagreed on that, but I just didn't want to take the risk, so bad insulation was the way to go for us anyway. Yeah, and then we had to try and understand how to close the walls again. There were 2 options. It was plastic or it was aluminum again. At that time, and this is a great tip that I've seen, is to go for plastic. Not only is it cheaper, it is just easier to come by, a lot easier to come by, and you can buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's, and you can just flip around the plastic and you'll get a smooth surface, and that is something that would have made our lives so much easier. But finally we decided on 2024 T3 LCAD aluminum, and that was only because that's the original aluminum that was used in these Argosys, or just in general Airstreams. They're very high quality, but they cost a lot of money. We didn't initially know how much it would cost, but we pretty much took all the old aluminum out. We made templates of the old ones, as you might see in pictures that will be coming up on the screen, and we pretty much cut out the templates and we reinstalled them into the walls. It was very easy with templates because you just cut the template out, you put it back, and then you start with riveting, which is another process altogether. But with the plastic ones, you'd have to figure out the template, which there is a pro and a con for everything, right? With aluminum, the template is a lot easier to cut. We used metal shears. It was, I think, $26 on Amazon, very cheap. And then also a jigsaw shear that you just connect to your drill, and I'll have that in the links below. It makes it easier for everyone to find. And we used those 2 tools, and it cut all of the aluminum we needed, and it was very easy to cut. It didn't leave a residue, or it wasn't too difficult to cut that the lines are very wavy. It was pretty straight, as you'll see in pictures as well coming up on the screen. Yeah, after that, that's pretty much how we decided to do the aluminum walls, and that was very important. That's the basis of the build for us. That made a big difference in looks, a big difference in how we felt it made the space feel. especially with holes being all over in the old one and the new one just being perfectly clean and sleek, and it's a new slate for us to work with. Yeah, so I just wanted to start with that as a beginning, just to say for those who like to know how to start their build out, if you did start where we were, where we had to just rip it from the insulation down, that this is a good starting point for you to think about. Just another example of something we didn't do, and the reason we bought the Airstream as we did was that the flooring was done already, and he had installed two 40-gallon tanks so you could go off grid longer for the black and the gray tank. But I'll talk more about those in a later episode for those who are interested. And if you are interested, throw a comment in the comment section and I will get back to you on that, and I'll be more than happy to explain the details of that as well. But if you like this video and you want to hear more and you want to see more, just click the notification bell and subscribe and like this and share it with your friends. It makes a big difference for us, especially in this time of 2020 quarantine. Yeah, enjoy your day, guys. See you later.